So most of the time I go for my trusty Colombian Starbucks Via because that's been the only thing that hasn't gotten old. Every now and then, though, I get something like this Maxim coffee, which is pretty good. It is surprisingly chilly this morning, probably due to the fact I'm camped in a canyon, so cold water tends to kind of like flow down it and straight in my door when it's open. Today is going to be dry the entire day once I leave this little stream here, so I'm trying to hydrate as much as I can since it's going to be about a 24-mile day. It does look like the trail is going to be relatively easy versus what I've been on, so I'm hopeful that I'm not going to burn through too much water. I am going to have to carry 3.5–4 liters though, which on top of the food carry I've got right now is ugh. This actually ended up being a really nice campsite, and I am really lucky that I found it considering how dark it was when I got here. Basically followed a animal trail through the vegetation there. So in the chilly light of morning, I've taken another look at it, and there is a puddle at mile 960. I'm about at 951. If I do that, that'll save me having to try and camel up quite as badly, which would be helpful, especially because sometimes in the morning I get kind of nauseous. It's kind of hard for me to down, the 1.5 liters of water that I would really want to drink before going into that long of dry section. And what's it going to do? Ruin my old ruined filter already? You can see even after back flushing, there are particulates in there. Hard to avoid when you're just filtering, 10+ liters a day. So when I referred to this area as creepy last night, a big part of that is I was so tired. My mind was starting to play tricks on me where, you think you hear something or you catch sight of something out of the corner of your eye, combined with, hiking after dark solo, depending on the area, is far less comfortable. Years ago, I was coming out of a peak bagging day. It was around Thanksgiving. I had done like 4 or 5 peaks, and so I was coming out late, rushing down the trail. I had a headlamp, but there was a windstorm, and hadn't seen anybody since the sun went down. Actually, I don't think I'd seen anybody all day. Popped around a corner, and all of a sudden I was face to face with this gigantic demon looking thing about, a foot away, which promptly looked at me and then mooed. And I just about crapped myself before I realized what it was. Most of the time I find on the PCT or AT style trails, it doesn't really matter if I'm alone or not hiking after dark, because there's just so many people around anyway. And incidentally, when somebody says they are nervous to hike alone or camp alone, my suggestion is usually headphones. There's something really comforting about just having that kind of sound isolation, playing music or a book or what have you. So the trail through here has been on an old rail bed that's co-signed as the Great Western Idaho Trail. Rail beds tend to be nice since they can't have too much of a slope on them, if maybe a little monotonous. And this is a perfect example of miles that drag. I'm basically going in a straight line all the way to the Wyoming border, I think, just along this road. The road's got a whole bunch of what I believe is obsidian all over the place. Well, that worried me for a minute. I thought the pond was dry, which would have left me in less than ideal circumstances. And speaking of less than ideal, oh well, new filter at the next stop. Filtering that was pretty much a crime against my filter, and it's making me regret not just carrying from the other source, but I got a really heavy load during this section. Okay, I have 2.5 liters of water filtered to get me the next 17 miles to Summit Lake. I would normally err on the side of carrying a little extra with how dry it's been out here, but that was about all I was going to eke out of my filter in any reasonable amount of time. I am just really hoping the clouds kind of block out the sun for a while. Looks like they disassembled the road at some point. And that is where the max end alternate comes back in, so much for solitude, probably. So interestingly enough, I just ran into a northbounder and I was chatting with him for a while. And he had actually wanted to stay at Summit Lake, but had to push past it because he was told by the permit office that it was full because there were like 10 people there. So we'll see. This could be shades of the AT. And welcome to Yellowstone. Okay, I am now on maintained Yellowstone trails. Got about 7 miles and change to Summit Lake. The CDT really needs to invest in signage, you know?
2-pound club sandwich and a 1-pound burger.
Well, welcome to Yellowstone. It smells like sulfur going through this area. And I've been able to hear people from the other side of the lake. And people packed in. Yeah, there's barely any room here. Home sweet home for the night.